Players, perhaps they get most of the credit, and they do deserve a lot of credit, but without the good support of school administrators, principals, and superintendents of those programs, the programs just wouldn't be the great programs they are. So each year at our tournament, we honor several school administrators who over a long period of time have contributed greatly to the success of the programs in their schools. And we have some this evening that we'd like to present plaques to in recognition of their service. To present these awards, members of the Board of Control of the Iowa High School Athletic Association. To my far right is Eldon Pyle, Superintendent of Schools at Olwine. In the middle is Roland Dyer, Vice Principal Athletic Director, Atlantic. And Dave Bechtel is next to Mr. Dyer. He represents the Department of Education on the Board of Control. So, School Administrator Awards for 1991. Our first honoree, Robert Buckner, accompanied by his wife Dorothy from Elkader Central. Bob Buckner, Superintendent, Elkader. Next up, from Lynn Grove, Sioux Valley, Raymond Doherty and his wife Barbara. Raymond, the superintendent at Sioux Valley. Alfredine, principal, Gilmore City Bradgate, accompanied by his wife Gladys. Stan Friesen, principal at Ogden High, accompanied by his wife Sandy. Al Green, the former superintendent at Alta, accompanied by his wife Donna. The late Joe Reed was the principal at Lemars High School for a number of years, represented tonight by his wife Gloria and son Kevin, along with daughter Kelly Groff. And finally, the superintendent, Greenfield, William Sandholm, accompanied by his wife Eleanor. Our school administrator honorees, 1991. We have such great medical personnel in our state, and they always seem to come to the rescue in their own community as far as providing aid and service to our student athletes. So each year we present Team Doctor Awards. Member schools nominate their team doctors for these awards, and we're going to honor one team doctor this evening. He couldn't be with us this evening. His name is Dr. Richard Kreider of Davenport, but accepting the award for Dr. Kreider is Don Fisher, the principal at Davenport Central High School. Ladies and gentlemen, the Iowa Basketball Coaches Association at our tournament each year present some awards to their own, and this year we're going to honor some coaches who have had phenomenal careers, and to make the presentations on behalf of the Iowa Basketball Coaches Association. To my far right is Don Logan from Van Horn, the secretary of that organization. And next to Don is Larry Fletcher of South Tama, the current president of the Iowa Basketball Coaches Association. Okay, first of all, those coaches who have won now over 300 victories as a high school coach. And our first honoree, 300 winner Dick Point of Cherokee, Washington, accompanied by his wife Betty. Another 300 winner, and this is from Gilbert High School, Dave Squires, accompanied by his wife Linda. This next fellow has been in our state tournament several times and has accumulated over 400 victories as a high school coach in our state, Bob Hilmer of Forest City. And another one that has been in our state tournament quite often, collecting over 400 wins in his career, Bob White of Iowa Falls, accompanied by his wife, Ann. Now, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats because we're going to introduce the academic all-state team, and I've got some figures here that are going to make you so proud of our student athletes in this state. I want you to listen to this closely. We have a group here of academic all-staters. Listen to some of these statistics. The ACT average of this entire group is 29.5. The grade point average of the whole group is 3.92. The scoring average of this group, 17.2. 8 of these young men have a perfect 4-point grade point average, and no less than a dozen of them rank number 1 in their class. Great athletes and great students, and I'd like to introduce the academic all-state team to you right now. Aaron Dumdai of Kolonesko. Matt Dummermuth of Valley Elgin. Keith Furness of Davenport West. Matt Gazaway, Marshalltown. Scott Hofer, Norway. Michael Coleman, Bridgewater Fontenelle. Mike Cluppy of Cedar Rapids Prairie. Carson Lansgard of Postville. Scott Lundholm, Des Moines Hoover. Mark McDermott of Traer, North Tama. Ryan Meese of Council Bluffs, Abraham Lincoln. Dan Oberhoy of Denver. Nick Platt of Ida Grove. Jamie Raker of Manchester, West Delaware. Kurt Taggett of Williamsburg. Rodney Wallacan of Waterloo East. Ryan Wells, Adair Casey. Barry White of Vinton Shellsburg. A young man who could not be with us this evening, Joe Witham of Cedar Falls. And John Wood of Esterville. Doesn't that make you proud? Let's give these young student athletes a big, big hand here. Thank you very much.
Halftime of the 2A championship game. Hull Western Christian leads Cedar Rapids Regis 44-25. We'll be back at Veterans Memorial Auditorium in a moment after this pause for station identification.
During Hyundai Savings Time, your Hyundai dealer is offering the biggest rebates he's had all year. With as much as $1,500 factory cash back, you can own this durable, economical Excel for as little as $55.25. Or get away in a sporty new Scoop with power steering and stereo. With a $1,000 rebate, it starts at just $79.90. It's not only fun to drive, it's easy to own. See your Hyundai dealer. It could be the smartest move you make all year. Sale ends April 3rd.
Good evening. This is the Channel 3, 10 o'clock. Ever since we sprayed the corn with Bucktril herbicide this afternoon, old Buck's been pretty excited. That's because Bucktril gives us fast knockdown of velvet leaf, cucklebur, and other broadleaves. In fact, the minute Bucktril hits a weed, the show's over.
When it comes to controlling broadleaf weeds in corn, nothing measures up to Bucktril.
Buck swears it works so fast he can hear the weeds drop.
On the Fox 17 Iowa Watch, Housing Help. The city of Clarion is receiving more than $416,000 from the state for housing rehabilitation. That's good news for Clarion and for Iowa.
A recent survey of the Des Moines area showed more people purchase furniture from homemakers than any other store. It must be homemakers' low prices, the quality guarantee, and the customer service. Homemakers' business has tripled in the last 3 years. Join the thousands of furniture shoppers who have switched to homemakers. Come see what your neighbors already know. Quality guaranteed, customer service, and the lowest prices. Homemakers West and Homemakers Furniture Outlet.
It's the best new show on television. Whoa. Parker Lewis. Can't Lose. Sundays on Fox.
Hull Western Christian leads Cedar Rapids Regis at halftime, 44-25. Now let's go downstairs to John Campbell.
Larry, thank you very much. For the past couple of years, the Iowa High School Athletic Association has been part of a program called Dreamers and Doers. Now, this is to recognize students who give maximum effort, but not only in athletic events, but other school and community events. And with me right now, Aaron Klein of Spirit Lake, who is the current winner of the Dreamer and Doer Award here in the state of Iowa. Aaron, I know you were nominated by your school. What happened after that?
Well, you wrote an essay and you submitted it to the Iowa Athletic Association. They sent all the essays in the state to San Diego. They read them all and they picked out the 10 best that they liked. And those 10 students went to Ames to have a formal interview and kind of a dinner relaxing situation. Then they told me I won, and I was very happy.
And as a state winner, then you got a trip to Disney World. Is that correct? What happened down there?
Well, they had a member of the group from every state except for Michigan. And they had us busy for about 3 days, taking pictures, doing promos for the athletic associations. We went around to every park you could imagine. We rode all the rides and stayed up late, had a really good time.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about what you do up at Spirit Lake. You're involved in track, is that correct?
Correct. My forte would have to be the 400-meter low hurdles. I'm looking to go to state this year, I hope.
Other than athletics, what are you involved with?
Well, there's chorus, swing choir, a cappella choir, band, academic decathlon, quiz bowl. Ironically enough, our quiz bowl team qualified for a competition down in Savannah, Missouri this year, so we'll be going down April 14th.
Aaron, congratulations. Thank you for joining us. Okay, Aaron Klein, Iowa's Dreamer and Doer. Back up to you, Larry.
Thanks, John. Let's take a look at the first half statistics with Hull Western Christian leading Cedar Rapids Regis in the 2A championship game by a score of 44-25. And Gary, I think that as we look at these stats, I'm sure that there'll be no great surprises. The Indians are really putting together a fine performance.
Excellent, and it was Regis who started out 8 out of 9, but then only 3 of the next 21 shots. And of course, rebounding too is a factor. They've been staying in there pretty good with this down by 3, but they've given up several offensive rebounds.
As far as the individual scoring in the ball game, for Hull Western Christian, 2 players have done most of the work. For Cedar Rapids Regis, Campbell got all those points early.
They got him in the first quarter, and there was a change of defense by Coach Jim Ekoff, I think, that changed this ball game around. He went to half-court traps into the zone situation, and it cut the penetration down by Regis and their ability to get inside and penetrate and get easy shots.
You see Hoffman with 17, including 5 3-pointers. In the second quarter, the Indians outscored the Royals 19-3. Now let's go back to John Campbell.
Okay, Larry, thank you very much. As you pointed out, Regis got only 3 points in the second quarter, and that's a big difference, obviously, in this halftime score of 44-25. We have some first half highlights to show you right now, if we can. And this is Tony Campbell. As you said, all of his points coming in the first half as Regis was staying with the Indians. But Kurt Hoffman, he loved that shot from the corner. That is one of 5 threes he had. Here he goes again. He was deadly from the outside. Defense by the Indians. Dave Baker on the block of Scott Cahill as they own the inside. And now watch Hoffman on the steal, and then he gets it ahead to Dave Haanen. Once again, the halftime score, Hull Western Christian 44, Cedar Rapids Regis 25. And we'll be back with the start of the second half in just a minute.
It might not make a big difference to you that your Farm Bureau agent is one of the industry's best trained. Then again, maybe it will. You might not be impressed that your Farm Bureau agent is always looking for innovative insurance and financial solutions. But someday, you might be. And you might not think it's important to plan for your future with a preferred client review. But maybe you should. The Farm Bureau family. Our most important policy is caring.
The corn is high and healthy here, and things are as they should be. Here, there's no velvet leaf, no cocklebur, no Canada thistle, and there will be no carryover, because this farmer has changed from atrazine to Banvel. Banvel, with no carryover. That's a change for the better. From atrazine to Banvel, the changing of the guard.
The 1991 Iowa Boys State Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Norwest Bank, Iowa. Come to expect the best.
Starting lineups back for both teams as the second half begins with Hull Western Christian leading Cedar Rapids Regis 44-25 in the 2A championship game. The Indians have won one previous state title. That was back in '85. Boothman misses the first time, wants to go back up again, and this time he is fouled by Matt Greyhouse.
And no, that wasn't a shot by Kurt Hoffman that time. He was trying to go the alley-oop.
We've seen enough of Hoffman to know he could never, he blindfolded, he couldn't miss that much. Steve Boothman, really, we mentioned it earlier, has not scored well in this tournament. Not even his average. He scored 11 points in the two games, and his average is 10. But if you go back to the district final against Morris Orange City, he got 20 in that game and 23 in the sub-state against Cherokee. So he's been there when he's been needed by the Indians.
The other thing, he was one of those kids that was hit with the flu, too, and came out of his bed to play in that semifinal game.
Hoffman moved up close to nail one. He's got 19, a 47-25 lead for Hull Western Christian, and a rebound by Van Essen is 12th of the ball game.
He's really done a job. You put that with 16 first half points, and you can't expect much more out of a guy.
And you look at the first 3 points of the second half going to Hull Western Christian, which means they have now outscored Cedar Rapids Regis by a margin of 22-3. With the putback, Dave Baker. What a turnaround for the Indians. And as you talked about, Gary, all triggered by that defensive adjustment.
Right now they come back man for man, and probably figuring that Regis has spent the halftime trying to adjust to the half-court trap, so now they come back and change to man for man.
Matt Holtz connects for the Royals. Van Essen. With the putback, it's Baker.
Well, that's his game. Get inside. Only 6 foot, but he goes hard to that offensive glass.
And those offensive rebounds we talked about in the first half, such a factor, starting to be a factor in the early moments of the second half as well. Campbell loses it to Baker.
You know, I've watched him now for 3 games in this tournament. He's a hard-nosed kid. Doesn't back off of anything. He's a hustler, good leader on his club.
Van Essen tries to rebound his own shot, but it's Greg Hawthorne who takes it away from him. And then he is tied up. Possession arrow on the jump ball will give it to Cedar Rapids Regis.
Bootsma sneaking in from behind, and if you notice that on your picture there, he just waited for the right time. He didn't go after, just slash after. He waited till he brought the ball back and then reached in and grabbed and got the tie-up.
Kent Dalma comes in at the point, and leaving the lineup will be Heath Ostenik. 51-27. Western Christian with the lead. 2 minutes have been played in the third quarter.
Now they went back to the 1-3-1 half-court trap. What that defense did, it forced him out away from the penetration and hit the outside shots. As we said, they're not a good shooting club this year, only 42%.
Hawthorne puts the offensive rebound through. Van Essen gets two defenders in the air, hits the shot, it will count, and he is fouled. Olberding picks up his second foul. A chance at a three-point play for Dave Van Essen.
Van Essen puts it on four, almost gets it taken away there by Matt Cullen, but then comes back, swings to his right, gets it off the glass, and he's been having some trouble. He's been working hard down there. The last three times he's had good shots, just rim around and out, but he got that one down.
20 points for Dave Van Essen. His average is 24. 5.5 to play in the third period. 54-29 in favor of Hull Western Christian.
There's where Regis is going to have some patience on shots right here. Get some good shots. That's where we try and climb back in the game. There's the good ball movement and the pass inside.
Hawthorne with 9. He leads the Royals in scoring. Again, go back to the play with the hot hand, but this time Van Essen can't get free. They will try Ostenink out of the corner. Wilkin on the rebound. And it belongs to the Indians.
That's pesky Kurt Hoffman, and if he isn't shooting, he's reaching to those hands, making some steals or deflections.
There's Janikov and Dick Breitbach. Breitbach with an extremely young team, again not a senior, on the Royals roster. They start 4 juniors and a sophomore. Going all the way with it, Wilkin.
He's been a steady and solid player this year for Coach Breitbach. He's a good passer. He's a swing player. At his size, for Regis at 6'1", he goes either forward or guard.
Van Essen being double covered. Hawthorne rips down the rebound.
Well, he's got the advantage right there. I was surprised that he turned and faced out, because I think with his back to the basket, he can just go to the fake and take it in tight to the basket.
Knocked down by Bootsma.
Bootsma, a good shot blocker.
The three way short by Wilkin.
Here, Regis facing that size. There's a block by Bootsma. Tries to squirrel inside. Another block right there again. It's tough shooting against those trees.
Certainly is. Rootman comes in, and Bootsma will take a rest. And in the lineup for Regis comes Nick Olberding, a starter. Excuse me, he will check out. It's Scott Cahill who comes in. It's a timeout on the floor with 4:08 left to play in the third period. The score is Hull Western Christian 54 and Cedar Rapids Regis 33. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
And to all the friends, the Iowa Brown.
Like deer season again, and right now your John Deere dealer has the lowest prices of the year. So come take a look at our complete line of walk-behinds. You can save on our riding mowers and lawn tractors too. Try any for 30 days. If you're not satisfied, return it for a full refund.
You forgot your lunch.
With a John Deere credit card, 90 days, same as cash.
See the yellow pages under lawnmower for your nearest John Deere dealer.
Something new coming out every year. They're always changing something. Some old farmer told me one time, a fool never changes his mind. So sometimes you have to do things different. Maybe instead of doing it the same old thing every year the same old way, you have to change. If you don't, you're going to be down on the bottom.
4 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the third quarter. Hull Western Christian bidding for their second state championship, leading Cedar Rapids Regis 54-33. Of course, the Royals have won 5 state titles. Only one team in state history has won more. That's Davenport Central with 9.
Regis' first championship coming in 1962, and I remember that. A young man by the name of Jim Cummins played on that team. He's now one of the top news reporters for NBC, working out of Dallas.
Picking it off is Rootman. Nice job getting it ahead to Hoffman.
Well, that's part of the offense of what we talked about at the start of the show, is that Hoffman releases. Regis has done a pretty good job of taking that away. I think in the first game of the term when he had 56, he must have had 8 layups.
Yeah, Yeah, that play certainly worked a lot. We watched the ball game, and it was very definitely a factor. Rootman has drawn his 4th personal foul.
You know, it puts pressure on you as an offensive team, because when he releases that early, you're thinking about sending the band back with him, and he releases before actually sometimes a shot is ever taken.
Bootsma back into the lineup for Hull Western Christian, replacing Rootman, who goes out with the 4 fouls, and the turnovers certainly one of many stories tonight, and that's an example of that.
And the big stat there, points on turnovers. They converted 14-2. And that's what Regis normally tries to do. They try to get some points off of turnovers. Of course, getting down the 4 quick.
Pass inside for Van Essen, slips through, out of bounds, last touch by Van Essen, and it goes to the Royals.
I think that pass might have surprised Van Essen a little bit. I don't think he was waiting for it.
The Royals a long way to come. That's Matt Cullen, who's just checked in. And the rebound claimed by Bootsma. Again, he has really done a job on the boards in this tournament.
And basically getting 1 shot for Regis. There's a little travel.
And he goes back to the Royals with 2:52 to go in the 3rd quarter, and still a long way to go for Cedar Rapids Regis as Jimmy Koch, who again has seen his team to this tournament 4 years in a row, only to be eliminated by the eventual champ the last 3. They're trying to take the final step, and certainly are well on their way to doing that.
They've just done a great job, Western Christian, of mixing their defenses, making this young club of Regis adjust to a lot of different situations.
Bootsma fouls Hawthorne. Only the 2nd foul of the half against the Indians as we get another look at it.
Here's Greg Hawthorne. Ryder coming up for the jumper. We said he hit 10-11 coming into this ball game, but he gets hit on the arm by Steve Bootsma.
Out of the lineup goes Kurt Hoffman.
Just looking at Kurt Hoffman. I would just make a little wager. Not any big money.
Okay.
But he makes the all-tournament team. I just have a feeling.
I think he's got a shot at it
Even though there's 10 minutes left this championship game.
The nice thing about him, for Indians fans, he is only a junior. Bootsma with the rebound between Bootsman and Van Essen. The Indians have really dominated forward play. That's a little hard for Van Essen to try to flag down. It's 4 turnovers in a row now for the Indians.
He'd probably be better just fluffing that up in the air high with his size, letting him go up and get it, and come down, and then stick it back on the glass.
Campbell has it blocked by Baker.
That's one of the things they've really shut down. Campbell had 8 quick points in the 1st quarter, has not scored since.
The jump shot by Dowland.
He had a big game against Davenport Assumption. He was 7 for 13 from the field, 15 points, and had a couple of key baskets in the 4th quarter to start it off.
And there'll be a timeout on the floor as we get another look at the last play.
Well, excuse me foul, wasn't it?
I guess so.
Van Essen.
1:57 to go in the 3rd. There's the score. There's the timeout on the floor. Now here's a word from your local station.
On the Fox 17 Iowa Watch, spring improvements. The state has awarded Fort Dodge a $396,000 grant for housing rehabilitation. That's good news for Fort Dodge and for Iowa.
A recent survey of the Des Moines area showed more people purchase furniture from homemakers than any other store. It must be homemakers' low prices, the quality guarantee, and the customer service. Homemakers' business has tripled in the last 3 years. Join the thousands of furniture shoppers who have switched to homemakers. Come see what your neighbors already know. Quality guaranteed, customer service, and the lowest prices. Homemakers West and Homemakers Furniture Outlet.
The power of TV can be remarkable. It can open your mind. It can open your eyes. It can open your heart. A Current Affair is TV at its most powerful.
Back at Butler's Auditorium, Larry Morgan, Gary Thompson, and John Campbell. We have 1:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. It was a tight game after 1, 25-22. Western Christian had the lead, but they outscored Cedar Rapids Regis 19-3 in the 2nd period and have just not let up. Hawthorne with the offensive rebound, wants to take it right back up. Count the shot, and he will go to the line.
He's a strong kid inside and has some good post moves. You see it here. Here's Hawthorne. He steps through underneath and out fake. Gets two guys to go up and then turns around and gets it up off the glass. Nice play by Greg Hawthorne.
Van Essen with the foul, his second, and Hawthorne goes to the line. And he has put together a good tournament. In fact, Dick Breitbach wants him on the floor so much. He has not missed a minute of play in the second half of either of the games here in the state tournament, and so far that's been the case in this one. He's been in throughout the entire third quarter.
And he has to do it for him on the boards. He's the only guy they really have with any size.
Hoffman trying to take the shot, and he is fouled. Now, there's a new rule in college basketball this year. When you get fouled on a three-point attempt, it is 3 free throws. That's not the case in high school.
No, you beat me to that. You're right on the game here, Larry. I was going to say, people watching college basketball are used to getting that 3 free throws out there now, but in high school it's still 2. There's Hoffman at the line. Oh, it's amazing. 61% free throw shooter. And here's a guy that started out making 5 straight 3-point shots.
I was thinking that when he missed that last free throw. That is amazing. But as long as you're any place behind the 15-foot line, you can do it. He may be on a move back behind that 3-point line to shoot his free throws, huh? In and out for Cullen. Hawthorne tries for the putback.
Good hustle by Hawthorne.
He always hustles. Here's Campbell. And there's a foul inside. Foul inside on Hawthorne on the push. But I believe it occurred after the bucket, and so it will be given to Campbell.
Watch the hustle right here. The turnaround and the good save. Then the foot pass out here to Campbell, and he gets his first 2 points after the first quarter.
And so with 1:10 left to play in the third quarter, it's 59-40, a 19-point lead for the Indians. We mentioned Dick Breitbach doesn't get to rest Hawthorne very much, but he is now for this final minute as he's been replaced by Jeff Schmidt.
One thing I want to say for this Regis club, and with a quarter left, anything can happen, but they are scrapping and hustling and scratching for everything they can get, and that's the kind of team that it has had to be during the year when you only shoot 41+%. You have to scratch and pull and run the court and get layups, whatever you can to stay in a ball game.
Well, that's really something to get into the state championship game with that kind of shooting.
Right. You know, they squeezed through. Like we said, they found a way to win. And a lot of close games.
Cullen on the foul, his first, the Royals' 5th. Into the lineup for Cedar Rapids Regis comes Ross Wilkett. He's hit a couple of buckets in this game. Cullen goes out. Nice execution on the inbounds.
Well, you want to open up there where you're a defender, where you can kind of see the ball and your man, and he just blew by his man.
Campbell cranks a 3. Van Essen has gone down. See from the lower part of your screen, Van Essen may have turned an ankle. As play continues, he is down on the floor. You see him there underneath the basket. And now the officials will use a timeout.
Yeah, waited till the advantage was not there before calling that timeout. And I think, in fairness to officials, right away they did not see him down.
Van Essen looks like it's his right ankle that they're going to work on. That young man has put together a fine game tonight. 21 points, a whole bunch of rebounds, and double figures in rebounds, had 10 at the half. All rights to the 1991 Iowa Boys State High School Basketball Tournament have been awarded by the Iowa High School Athletic Association to Duchess Watt Communications Des Moines. No rebroadcast, videotape presentation, or other use of this telecast is permitted without the express written consent of Tommy Thompson, executive producer of Des Moines.
Dave Van Essen walking off. We're glad to see that. And, you know, they talk about him. They say he's probably the best player in the school's history, and he's really the All-American boy. He's a student body vice president, an all-state chorus, and, of course, a tremendous talent on the basketball floor. It's good to see him walking off his own power, and he's a little upset.
Yeah, he wants to play in this state championship game. He doesn't want to watch, even though his team in command by 21.
All competitors love to play.
Schmidt misfires, wrapping up the rebound, Rootman. Rootman, who is Van Essen's replacement, is playing with 4 fouls. The Indians in no hurry here.
Looking over there on on the bench right now, and they're taping. There's the shot down.
Bootsman drains it just before the buzzer, and it's a 23-point lead for the Indians after 3 periods of play. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Old Western Christian 63, Cedar Rapids Regis 40. We'll be back after this word from your local station.
The 1991 Iowa Boys State Basketball Tournament is brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Test drive his full line of quality cars from Hyundai. Yes, Hyundai.
March is Hyundai savings time at your Hyundai dealer. And there's never been a better time to get big savings on every 91 Sonata in stock. Save on a roomy, powerful Sonata V6 with 4-speed automatic, stereo, and more room and power than Ford Taurus. With rebates as high as $1,500 and prices as low as $10,420. It's a big car for less than many small cars. See your Hyundai dealer. It could be the smartest move you make all year. Sale ends April 3rd.
George!
Out golfing. Left you dinner. Not in the freezer. On the shelf.
Kraft microwave entrees.
They're new.
Ooh, chicken fettuccine.
Tender chicken, ribbons of fettuccine in a creamy sauce. Kraft slow cooks them. Then all the taste is sealed in so no preservatives are needed. Takes 2 minutes.
This is my kind of food.
Save me the fettuccine.
New Kraft microwave entrees. Your kind of food on the shelf.
A late-night host is defined by the company he keeps.
I've been watching you for a long time.
I've been watching you too, honey.
And that makes this late-night host classy, sassy, wild, wacky, sweet, sexy, smart, and funny. Show you right. Weeknights at 10 on KDSM Fox 17.
The northwest part of the state, burning brightly. That's where Hull Western Christian is. Rated number 1, seeded number 1, playing like number 1, and Dave Van Essen is back in the lineup. Back to you, Larry.
Somehow, Gary, doesn't surprise me.
No, I said right at the end of the third quarter when they hit that shot, they were over there. He had his shoe. He jerked it off right away, and he was telling the trader, tape it up, tape it up.
He wanted back in badly. Hoffman from long range. Hoffman now with 25 points. And it's a 66-40 lead for the Indians.
6 3-pointers in this ball game, 19 in the tournament for that young man.
And Van Essen is healthy. He comes back with a 3.
Didn't hurt his lift off there, did it, on that 3-point shot?
That gives him 2 threes in the game, a total of 24. And now Cedar Rapids Regis answers with a 3 by Matt Grayhouse. 69-43. All Western Christian with the lead. 7:20 to go in the 2A title game. Van Essen. Hawthorne rebounds.
The defender got a piece of it going up right there, and he grabbed it. He really could have come down after the defender knocked the ball away, but he elected to try and shoot it.
This time Van Essen is fouled. Picking up the personal. Scott Cahill.
You hear the shot going up, and you see 2 hands in there as they get a piece of that ball. And Van Essen then coming out with a behind-the-back dribble.
Downland back into the lineup at the point for Western Christian. The rejection by Hawthorne. And Campbell leads the breakaway.
And Van Essen, I watched him. That ankle's bothered. He came down on hard and twisted a little bit again.
Campbell with 13, he and Hawthorne 13 apiece to lead the Royals in scoring. But they trail by 24 with 6:38 to play.
Regis trying to do a little trapping of their own.
Bootsman twists, but he is fouled. Cahill with his second.
Cahill, as you're looking at right here, number 35, 6'1", going against Bootsma, 6'7".
Ostenink back in at the point for the Indians. It also changes for the Royals. Number 41 is Matt Holtz, a starter at forward tonight, who scored but 2. And also in for Regis, Matt Cullen. He replaces Tony Campbell.
2 men.
Campbell, you saw him taking a seat on the bench, only a sophomore, Gary. It looks like he could really be a factor for the Royals the next couple of years.
Well, when you think that this entire team is going to come back intact, not one senior on it, so they've got a lot to look forward to.
Bootsma rebounds his own misses. Bootsma takes Hawthorne inside. Now Ostanek. Bootsma scrapping for the rebound with Holtz. And this time, the jump ball in the alternating possession gives it to the Royals.
Be some tired Regis kids after this ball game, having to fight this tremendous size of Western Christian.
Get Dalmo back into the lineup, and Ostanek goes out. That's a nice 1-2 combination at the point.
You can do a lot of things with that combination. We said Ostanek, the best defensive ball player. Dalma, pretty good defender too, but also better offensive.
Hawthorne clears some space. He has 15. 5:50 left.
Nice pass.
And Bootsma is fouled by Hawthorne.
There's just a nice pass, touch pass by Dave Baker going inside. Let's watch it here. There he gets it. As soon as it hits his hands, it goes right inside to Bootsma. He takes it up and gets clobbered.
Steve Bootsma, senior, who is averaging 10.3, will go to the line. He struggled at the line tonight, just 1 out of 4. (71-47), all Western Christian. 5:41 left. Foul on Baker, and Dreyhouse will go to the line. East Waterloo fans getting ready for their game against Ames, and they may be wondering the status of Tyrone Williams. He was scheduled to start at forward, but twisted an ankle early in the game yesterday against Carroll Kemper, and I guess they're going to wait till warm-ups to determine whether Tyrone Williams can play.
All right, I talked to Steve McGraw before this game started, the Class 2A championship, and he said, Gary, I just can't tell you. We don't know. It's just going to be minute to minute with him. It didn't look real good. He's going to be close, anywhere close to 100%.
Got the job done without him yesterday, but certainly against Ames, they'd love to have him in. Dalma scores off the dribble. 73-49. All Western Christian with the lead. And Dreyhouse will go right back to the free throw line.
Foul charge number 52, Steve Bootsma.
Bootsma with his second personal foul.
Dreyhouse, a kid that likes to drive, and it's indicative by his going to the free throw line. He's 11 for 15 in the free throw line coming into this game.
Rootman in, Bootsma out for Western. And Ostanek in. And Dalma out for the Indians. Dick Breitbach paid Dreyhouse quite a compliment. He said he is the ultimate in his iron hustle. He's had a good tournament, by the way. 15 points against Grinnell, 14 against New Hampton, and 11 so far tonight. So in double figures all 3 times out.
Well, his average is 11, so he moved it up a notch. He played above his average.
Trying to run it down was Cullen. And the Royals will get another opportunity. Finally, Dalman knocking it out of bounds, or rather Hoffman knocking it out of bounds.
Number 13, Tony Campbell.
It's a long down-court pass. They're trying to run it down. Can't get it. I think Cullen got on Hoffman's leg and actually pulled him down, but he couldn't get a chance to reach and save it.
5:05 left in the championship game. Timeout. The score is Hull Western Christian 73, Cedar Rapids Regis 50. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
We survey hundreds of shoppers every week to learn more about what you like and want at Hy-Vee. And folks who regularly shop Hy-Vee tell us they save money on their overall food bill. They find low prices plus friendly service. Because that's what you want, that's what you get, all day, every day at Hy-Vee.
Where there's a helpful smile
And low prices.
in every aisle.
These days, it's not unusual to see farmers back in school.
This place sure looks a lot smaller.
Like you just got a lot bigger. They're learning how to apply crop protection chemicals in the safest ways possible.
Remember when the coach made us all get crew cuts?
Right before the prom.
Some ththings may have changed since these farmers were in the classroom, but learning to protect the environment is something they know will never go out of style.
I suppose you're going to want to borrow my nose again.
Brought to you on behalf of the American farmer by the makers of Dual Herbicide.
Western Christian, number 1 in the polls, coming into the tournament, about to win the 2A championship. Time now for our Norwest key stat of the game.
Well, shooting just continues to plague Regis, and look at the difference in three-point shots down here. 3 for 15 for Regis, 10 for 17 for Hull Western Christian. 6 of those by Kurt Hoffman.
10 for 17 is outstanding on any level of basketball competition. Turnover Royals. The ball goes back to the Indians.
Regis picking up full court. So one thing I can say for these kids, even being down by 20-some points, they just have a lot of fight and fire. They're not giving up. They're still playing hard.
A great basketball tradition at Cedar Rapids Regis, and again, with all this young talent, it's obviously going to continue. Van Essen will go to the line. For Hawthorne, his 4th foul. So Dave Van Essen, who has 24 points and at least 12 rebounds, at the line.
And you see him sneaking in there, taking it underneath, trying to get a little flip pass, some spin off the glass, but being fouled, he can't get it up to the board.
Cahill replacing Holtz. Van Essen now with 25. He had 43 points in the game this year against Norfolk, Nebraska, which had been the school record, till Hoffman went off for 56 here on Wednesday. (75-50), a 25-point lead for the Indians with just under 5 minutes to go. Hawthorne fouled by Bootsma. Bootsma with his 3rd foul.
Wait, 5-2.
Here's Dick Breitbach and staff, and again Breitbach with great success at Cedar Rapids Regis, but talk about great success, Jim Ecoff has certainly had that.
You know, I have to feel that Dick Breitbach prepared this team to win the game, but realizing that probably they were going to have to play almost a perfect game against this tough and top-rated Western Christian Hall team.
Hoffman not getting the daylight to shoot there, but that is certainly his area. Cahill picks it off. This is Ross Wilkin. Ruthman has the rebound. Bootsma travels. He goes back to the Royals with 4:02 to play, and they are down by 23. Ken Dalma's number 22. Number 30 is Dave Baker. Baker, starter, and though Dalma isn't, he played almost as much as a starter. Penetration by Cahill. And Hawthorne is taking a beating.
I think he got one of those elbows right on the top of the head. Those smart.
He's tough, but he's really getting beat.
Look at the little flip pass through those hands and legs and arms. You see Hoffman getting clobbered.
Van Essen picks up the foul. So Hawthorne, who's really had an outstanding tournament in double figures in rebounding the first 2 games, as Gary mentioned, had missed only 1 shot through the first 2 games, and tonight his best offensive performance of the state tournament, now has 16.
He's just a good power player underneath. He said he's a good post-up player. He's got good moves in there. Steps on you, gives an up fake, and then steps back through. Anything to get a shot off against those bigger kids.
He's got 17 to lead the Royals in scoring. 3:49 left. Hull Western Christian with a big advantage. Bootsma.
Oh, nice move. A backhand layup right there by the big guy.
Here's Campbell. And the rebound is by Dalma.
You talked about Tony Campbell earlier, just a sophomore, but he leads the team in scoring, steals, and second in assists. So quite a year for the young sophomore.
Essen now with 28. 79-54, Western Christian. .305 to go as Hawthorne buys the head and shoulder fake and walks. You hear a roar from the crowd, and the reason is not necessarily the outstanding players who are leaving, but Lloyd Van Huel comes into the lineup for Hull Western Christian, and he's a big crowd favorite there. You see some shirts, they say Lloyd's Boys. That's those dark shirts you see there in the crowd. He's just got a big following. But of course, some of it must go for Bootsma.
Well, they've been waiting for this one after being turned away at the door a couple, 3 times.
And as Jimmy Koff was telling us the other day, Gary, it really got to him after a while. Get so close.
He said playing in the consolation game is okay, or always he said that 3 times in a row.
It had become a habit, but not for long. Here's Mark Roloffs into the lineup for the first time, number 24. He's a 6'2 senior. And leaving the lineup, Kent Dalma. He's a junior, so he will be back for Jimmy Koff next year. Greyhouse takes it to the hole.
Good drive. He's a good penetrator. He has the ability to find a way and snake through the defense and get it to the basket.
Has 8 points in this 4th quarter alone. Van Huel is fouled.
And I see what you mean when he got the ball. I looked over there in the stands, and they're all just standing there hoping he's going to get a score.
You kind of wonder what you're missing because you hear the roar and you don't see why. Schmidt fouls. Jeff Schmidt with his first. To the lineup, Dave Van Essen, wrapping up a career at Hull Western Christian with a brilliant state tournament performance.
You know how pleasing this has to be for these kids. As we said, who've been turned away before and had the disappointment of not getting into the final game. Lloyd says, yeah, that's all right, I get this one.
This place will erupt if he hits his free throw.
Oh, listen.
He's just a very popular guy around school, described as a free spirit. Everybody loves him.
Well, I see a lot of shirts over there, Lloyd's Boys, but I see Lloyd's ladies, too. All those are his ladies, man.
I'm impressed. Dreo is on the drive, and he's really had a productive quarter. 15 in the game, 10 here in the final quarter. And Huel picks up the foul, his first. And Dick Whitebox sending J.P. Pfluger into the lineup. Pfluger hasn't played much this year after severely spraining an ankle at mid-season.
We've got one starter left now, I think, for Western Christian to get that curtain call. Kurt Hoffman's still in the game.
Campbell takes it away and scores. Hoffman, who has the ball now, the one who got 56 points here in the quarterfinals, a state tournament record. Boys and girls explode as Van Huel scores his first field goal.
You know, the way that reacted, and with Hoffman in there, I wondered if he's going for some kind of record that we do not know about, because he really looked like he wanted to take the shot because he had a wide open guy, and he's not a selfish player.
Well, let's check out the three-point record during this break, because there is a timeout on the floor. Now, here's a word from your local station.
Things were pretty quiet around here until Hardee's brought out that California Raisin family.
Buy a Raisin Oat Bran muffin or any dessert, and for 99 cents, you get yourself a purple neighbor.
Those raisins are raising a ruckus all over town. But it ain't what we call fun, is it, Martha? Martha? Martha! Oh, Martha.
California Raisins. Collect all 4, only 99 cents each. Only Hardee's.
There are lots of contests out there, but there's only one place where you can win a new job as a record executive. Or you don't just win some cheap vacation, you win a beachfront condo in Hawaii. And we're not giving away one car, we're giving away a whole collection of classics. And only one place will give you those prizes on national television. The place is Fantasy Park. And all you have to do to enter is call 1-900-436-4FOX. Good luck from Fantasy Park.
2:09 left. Hull Western Christian with an 82-60 lead. And Gary, we found, first of all, the reason that Hoffman remains in is we take a look at Loy's ladies. Jeff Schmidt hits off the drive. Now, this would be for a state tournament three-point record.
Look, he backs it up. He's going to take another one.
Not quite. He's got 19, needs 20 to tie, and 21 to break the record. On the drive, it is Drejos. This time they'll try to take it inside, and Hoffman will go to the line.
Ben Hall was going to go back to Hoffman. He wants to give him a chance to get the shot. I think they're going to finally maybe get somebody in for him. Let's see.
Now into the lineup for Regis. Number 15 is Mark Hickman, and number 33 is Scott Hoffman.
Where I just knew when Hoffman came down another time 3-on-1, I know what kind of player he is. And when he didn't pass the ball, I said, something's wrong here. He's got to be going for some kind of record that the coaches know about.
He sits on 19 three-pointers for the tournament. 20 would tie the record. 26 points for the junior. He builds the lead back up to 20 for Hull Western Christian with 1:40 left in the 2A title game. Nice roll. Looking now with 3 buckets, 6 points.
Well, this is an excellent Western Christian team. We still got to give credit to this Regis club, the way they continue to fight despite being down by this almost 20 points yet.
Again, a team made up of no seniors. John Ostronow comes into the Indian lineup, and they're not going to get Hoffman the record. There he goes.
Well, I'll tell you, the one record they will remember, and it will be in the books, it'll stand out, and that's at 56 points, the tournament scoring record.
I know you and I will remember it. That was quite a performance. Waiting moments of the 2A title game, and then the Indians will celebrate their second championship. They also won it in '85. But again, the last 3 years got here only to not get into the title game. Jerry Hafer drawing the foul for the Royals. Both coaches making sure that everybody gets a chance to play in the state tournament championship game. This is Rob Kaminsky coming in, wearing number 3. Mark Roloffs at the line.
You know, I'm always hoping these kids at the end of the ball game in a game like this that every free throw or shot they make, I wish they could all go down right now for them.
Roloffs got in the box score right there. John Campbell will be along in a few minutes to visit with the winning team from Hull Western Christian. Gary will be out on the floor to tell us about the all-tournament team, and then the stage will be set for the last championship of this basketball season. East Waterloo against Ames. Scott Hoffman, a free throw shooter for the Royals, who will finish at 21-5. This is their only loss this year that will be against a team other than a 3A team. Western Christian also believes in playing tough competition. They've played a dozen 3A schools this year. It really pays off at tournament time.
Well, it really does. There's nothing like playing against tough competition. And that's the way you improve.
The shot will go down by Brian Alpena, but he will get a chance at the line. Hafer with his second foul. Now checks into the lineup for the Royals, replacing J.P. Pfluger. And with the appearance of Burish, Dick Breitbach has used everybody he brought, and Janikoff has been able to get in everybody that he suited. I'm sure even now they're talking about, we can make it back here next year.
And I'm sure that's what Dick Breitbach will be telling his kids in the locker room following this game.
Offensive foul on Alpena. 30 seconds to go. Picking off the pass, Roloffs. Counted, and he will go to the line.
Roloffs had that one measured all the way, didn't they?
He certainly did.
Let's watch it. You can just say he's picking his step, he's getting his stride down, and now he ducks in between and under behind the defender there that cuts in front, gets it off the glass.
Shooting one shot.
88-67. Western Christian. A game for a quarter, and then the Indians really took command. The crowd favorite, Lloyd Van Huel, hits at the buzzer, and it is all over. Jimmy Koff and team, after being turned away the last 3 years, are now 2A champions. Championship for Hull Western Christian. That's the end of the game with the score. Western Christian 90, Cedar Rapids Regis 67. We'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
Norwest Bank proudly salutes the spirit of competition displayed throughout the 1991 Iowa Boys State High School Basketball Tournament. We have all proudly come to expect the best.
John Deere is proud to introduce 3 new walk-behind mowers. One's a mulching mower that's good for the environment because it eliminates grass clippings. But sometimes you want a bag, so this one offers easy rear bagging. And finally, this one gives you the convenience of side discharge. You get all 3 of these when you buy just this one. The new John Deere Tricycler Mower, available at your John Deere dealer.
See the yellow pages under lawnmower for your nearest John Deere dealer.
For the Indians, 4 visits in a row. The last 3 ended frustration, but not this one for Jimmy Koff. And the Indians celebrate. And they've got a lot to celebrate. They really put on a show in this state tournament, winning the quarterfinal game, scoring 104 points, winning this one, going away 90-67. For the presentation, here's Mo Kelly.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to honor the 2 best Class 2A teams in the state of Iowa 1991. To make the trophy presentations, medals for the players and cheerleaders, 2 members of the Board of Control of the Iowa High School Athletic Association. The runner-up award will be presented by Douglas Williams, the superintendent of Gilbert, and the championship award will be presented by Ron Bickford of Danville, the current chairman of our board. First of all, our runner-up team. Here's fair warning to all of you teams, particularly in the Cedar Rapids area, but also the entire state. Our number 2 team in the state this year has not a senior on the squad. They'll be back. The Royals from Cedar Rapids Regis and Coach Dick Breitbach. And 2 years ago, they were 3rd. Last year, they were 4th. This year, they are number 1. The Indians from Hull Western Christian and Coach Jim Eckhoff. Sportsmanship Award, sponsored by the Iowa High School Athletic Association, the Iowa Broadcasters Association, and the Iowa Newspaper Association. Representing two of those organizations here this evening is Tommy Thompson of KDSM TV in Des Moines, the current president of the Iowa Broadcasters Association, and representing the Iowa Newspaper Association, the current president, Gary Spurgeon of the Bloomfield Democrat. To announce the winner of the Sportsmanship Award, Mr. Spurgeon.
The Sportsmanship Award recognizes one of the most important aspects of high school sports. And this year's Class 2A winner is Pella.
In addition to the sportsmanship trophy, the Pella School will be receiving two $500 scholarships to be awarded by the school to one male and one female student athlete or cheerleader in any sport. These scholarships are funded by Norwest Bank, Iowa. So, Pella, would you come back to receive the award, the scholarship awards that will be presented to two of your young people? The Iowa Bankers Association honors one individual from each class, this being the 2A class, with a Student Achievers Award. Each school in our 2A field nominated one of their squad members for this award. It's to go to an outstanding citizen athlete, and our winner in this particular class this year meets all of the categories. An athlete, all-conference football player, participates in two other sports, a great scholar with an ACT of 31 and a grade point average of 3.97, a school and community leader, active in church, active in music, and our winner is Jeffrey Lucas of Pella. Making the presentation are representatives of the Iowa Bankers, John Sorensen of Des Moines, the Vice President, also Rex Coble of Des Moines, the Director of Marketing for the Iowa Bankers Association. And now, it's time for the all-tournament team, and here is Hall of Famer Gary Thompson to do the honors.
With us tonight to help present the certificates for this Class 2A All-State Tournament team is Iowa's #1 sports fan, the Governor of the State of Iowa, the Honorable Terry Branstad. This Class 2A All-Tournament team will have 6 members as we had a tie in the voting. And now here's your all-tournament team. First, Sean Moeller, Davenport Assumption. From New Hampton, John Croat. Also from New Hampton, Steve Daniel. From the runner-up team, Cedar Rapids Regis, Greg Hawthorne. The next member, Dave Van Essen from Hull Western Christian. And the captain of this all-tournament team from Hull Western Christian, Kurt Hoffman.
And we'll be back at Veterans Auditorium in just a moment.
When I started, it was still, I think the theory was, the harder you worked, I think the more I accomplished. I mean, I had to kind of use the head on my shoulders, but it still seemed like the harder I worked, the more I was accomplishing. And it's not quite the way anymore. You can work yourself to death or break your back, but if you don't use your head, you're going to be broke in a year, you know. So you've got to use your head.
The blues have been around forever. No matter what you do, you'll have some stormy weather. You can't beat the blues. Don't you know it's true? You can't beat the blues. No matter what you do, you can't beat the blues. It's one I've gotta have through the good times and the bad. Don't you know it's true? You just can't beat the blues. You're gonna see the light. We're gonna see it through. You know we do things right. We're always there for you. The world keeps rearranging. One thing's never changing. Don't you know it's true? You just can't beat the blues.
There are the champs. All Western Christian, a 90-67 victory over Cedar Rapids Regis in the title game. Dave Van Essen, number 44, who receives the trophy, the leading scorer. He got 28 points. Teammate Kurt Hoffman had 27. With the victorious Indians, here's John Campbell.
Thank you very much, Larry, with Coach Jim Ekoff. And Jim, your comments on your team's play tonight?
Just outstanding defense, and that's been the strength of this team all year. And tonight we just played an outstanding game, aggressive on offense, and we were hitting.
Feel better standing here than in third or fourth place?
Oh, I'll tell you, this is sweet. When the first time we won it in '85, it came so easy. I didn't realize how tough it is to win a state championship. But you learn to appreciate it when you struggle and get some thirds and fourths and things like that. So this is much, much sweeter.
When you come out and see Hoffman hitting those three-pointers right away, is that a good feeling for you?
It's a great feeling. When he's hitting, we're a tough team to beat.
It seems to me that this club proved its rating and its seeding tonight.
Yeah, they were rated #1 most of the year, seeded #1, and it's pretty tough to have that on your shoulders all year and then come through #1. But I thought they do it all the time.
Okay, and you're you're Loy's coach?
I'm Loy's coach. It's a long story.
Okay. I want to talk to a couple of the players here. First of all, Kurt Hoffman, come on forward. The hot hand again tonight. You must like shooting here.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess this place is just, I don't know, a shooter's place. I don't know. But, yeah, the first game was kind of a shocker to me, All the guys did great here. They got me the ball, when I was open and stuff, so I give them guys a lot of credit.
Were you going for the record there at the end?
Yeah, Coach told me to shoot it, and I just couldn't hit it. But, I just laugh about that now.
Congratulations on your championship.
Thanks.
Let's get over here to Dave. Here we go. Dave, come on in here. How do you feel tonight about being the state champ?
Oh, it's just a great feeling. A lot different from the past 2 years where we've come in here and lost. It's just a heartbreaker. There's no way we could have handled that again, I don't think. But just a great, great feeling to come in and win.
Would you say that coming up short those other years spurred you guys on?
Oh, definitely. Before we came down here again, I watched the tape personally. I know some of the other guys did about watching us lose to Fell again. That really got me going. So it's just a great feeling. Oh, I can't believe it.
Congratulations on your title. What are you going to do with that trophy?
Oh, first we're going to set it around school for a while, and then it's going in the trophy case to all the others, I guess. So.
Talk to some of the other fellas here. Come on in here. Heath, come on in here. How do you like this piece of art?
Looks pretty nice. So.
Congratulations to all you fellas on this state championship. Let's see that trophy. There they are, the 2A champions, Hull Western Christian. Back to you, Larry.